we ministers were not told about the asymptomatic transmission. This is a really important scientific fact.
If only then Health Secretary Matt Hancock had been listening to BBC Radio 4 on March 13th, 2020, he would have heard the government's own Chief Scientific Advisor Patrick Vallance say this.
It looks quite likely that there is some degree of asymptomatic transmission.
But it wasn't until a whole month later that the Health Secretary introduced a policy to test care home patients before discharging them from hospital.
Today we've strengthened the rules so that all care home residents who are discharged from hospital will be tested before being admitted into their care home.
By that time, a staggering 25,000 people had already been discharged from hospital into care homes without being tested for coronavirus. It almost certainly contributed to the catastrophe which occurred in our care homes.
More than 20,000 elderly or disabled care home residents died from COVID between March and June 2020 in England.
In fact, Sage said asymptomatic transmission cannot be ruled out in early February 2020. But today the Health Secretary said this.
We ministers were not told about the asymptomatic transmission.
When the government's own Chief Scientific Advisor Patrick Vallance was saying this on the radio in mid-March 2020.
It looks quite likely that there is some degree of asymptomatic transmission.
It's simply incomprehensible.